four points. First one is pre-screening questionnaire questions. Second one is candidate interviews, how to set up the interview and all for the candidate. And after that, the feedback questions for the hiring managers and all recruiters. And the last one is the candidate and candidate job applications. Okay, so let's start for pre-screening questions. So this is the table content for this topic. So just an overview. So basically, pre-screening questionnaire contains questions specific to a job. Okay, so suppose uh, I am applying for a job in an organization, and recruiter or hiring like organization wants like we want a pre-screening before a main screening. It means that system should automatically uh, pre-screen some candidate based on some questions available on the job application while applying while applying on a job. Okay, so to achieve that requirement, we create pre-screening questions in a ORC. Okay, so pre-screening questionnaires appears automatically in job requisitions. Okay, so whenever we will create the job requisitions, if any pre-screening questions are configured, then automatically while creating the job requisitions, they will appear in the flow. So whether so their recruiter have options to change the settings and all, but they cannot delete it. Okay, so they want to just select whether it is an external or internal questions in the job requisition flow. Okay, so for each job requisition, there is an internal questionnaire for internal candidates and external questionnaire for external candidates. So it is of two type. First one is the disqualification questions, and another is pre-screening question. Okay, so basically disqualification means if we want to disqualify candidate based on some selection. Okay, so suppose I have created one job requisition, and my criteria is if the candidate is willing to relocate, only then I will consider that job application, else I will not consider that job application. So what I will do, I will create one disqualification on the for job requisition and attach it to it, and ask when candidate will apply on the job requisition, then I will ask this disqualification question whether you are able to willing to relocate for this location. If he selects no, then it will disqualify that candidate like this. Okay, so you can edit pre-screening questionnaires in a job requisition as long as there is no candidate for job applications for that. Okay, so basically we can edit the pre-screening questionnaires from the backend. Okay, so if there is any change in the question or the question values or any question type, so we can change it. Okay, but those changes will reflect only on those requisitions that do not have any job application attached to the job requisition. That means that if any job requisition is posted on the career portals, okay, and we have not received any job application yet for that job requisition, then if we made any changes on a pre-screening questionnaire at the backend, then it will reflect on that job requisition also. But if there are active job applications present on the job requisition, then that job requisition pre-screening question will not be able to update. Okay, so you can see you
Okay.
can view the automatically populated disqualification questions, but you cannot remove them. Okay, you can view the pre-screening questionnaires added automatically, but you cannot add or remove them. And you can add or remove pre-screening questionnaires added by the user. Okay, it means that whosoever the questions, whenever the questions are added automatically on the job requisition. Okay, so we cannot remove them or we cannot add them. But o- but if the questions are added by user manually for the job requisition, so we cannot add so we can edit them, like to remove them or add them. Okay,
Okay, Sri. And some noise is coming through your end.
sorry.
Because some disturbance is coming your end because it's dominating your voice on that background side.
Now,
Yeah, still let's come. Let's more now. Now not. Now it's clear. Step. Hello.
now clear, Madhu?
Uh, Same. It's coming, but it's okay. We can carry on. Straight.
Mm, Let me try with another headphones. Just a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Madhu, it's okay.
No, still it's no very high. Previously only better.
Sorry.
Previously only better. Now it's coming very nice.
Okay. I'm not sure what is the problem from my side.
Yeah, fine, fine, no problem. Because it's
Okay. So can we continue?
yeah, yeah, we can.
Okay. So disqualification question. First of all, we will see disqualification question, and we will create a disqualification question. Okay. So disqualification question is like told you like to disqualify the candidates based on some requirements. Okay, so our disqualification question is a single or a multiple answer question that contains the minimum requirement for a candidate to be eligible for a job. Like minimum this I want for a candidate to apply for this job requisition. If that candidate does not have this minimum requirement, then I do not need that candidate for a job application for that job requisition. So for this, we will create a disqualification question. Okay. So when candidates apply for a job, it's mandatory to respond that disqualification question. Answers to the disqualification questions decide if candidates move forward in the selection process or are automatically disqualified. Okay. So an example of disqualification could be: Are you entitled to work in the United States? Yes, no. Okay, it's the recruiting administrator who creates and manages that. Like if a user having a recruiting administrator role, then he or she will able to edit or manages the disqualification question at the backend. Okay, so when creating disqualification question, so that administrator can contextualize the question based on the like organization, location, job, family, because different locations have different like for US there may be a different disqualification question, or for India there may be a different disqualification question. Okay, so when a recruiter creates a job requisition, disqualification question matching the context for the job requisition are automatically added to the pre-screening questionnaire. So suppose I am if a disqualification question is only for the US, okay, and I'm creating a job requisition for US only, so that context should match. Okay, so if that context is matching, then automatically the disqualification question will be attached to the job requisition while creating a job requisition. Okay, but in another case, if the disqualification question is for US and I am creating a job requisition for India, in that case that question will not be attached to the job requisition because the contextualization of the disqualification question is not matching with the job requisition, the location is not matching, so that's why.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so now we will create a disqualification question. So under setup and maintenance, here, okay, go to task, here click on search, question library, change the subscriber to recruiting,
Okay.
click on it. Okay, disqualification question section. Okay, click on create. Okay, question code is created by system automatically. Subscriber is recruiting, owner is by default it will pick the username that we are logged in. Okay, folder is disqualification question, we have already selected. Okay, privacy is public and private. So public means that whosoever may have the access for question library can edit the questions. Okay, private means only I will able to edit the this question. Okay, status will be draft, active and inactive. Okay, question text we will type. Okay, question type is single choice. Okay, display the question conditionally means that we can create a dependent question. Okay, so suppose it's a feature like we have two questions. Okay, for in first question I am asking like uh, what we can say, what we can ask. Yeah, so in first question I am asking in which country currently you are living. Okay, so if the user will select India, so automatically on the second question I'm asking please select the city. So in that question those value will populate based on the answer of the first question that candidate have answered. If India they have answered, then automatically in the on the second question all the cities related to India will come. So this means that display the question conditionally. Okay, if I will click on this checkbox, okay, it will ask the controlling question, that is the first question, which is the first question that we have to link. So I will untick it. Score question means that we want to score the that answer based on the candidate reply. So
But here, suppose that answer is right or wrong, but it can move right second question automatically. I think right.
yes,
If candidate is giving for that answer, if right
mhm,
or wrong also, it will move for next question.
yes, or once whenever the candidate selects the first question, automatically second question will populate based on the answer.
Okay. Answer. Okay.
Question qualification classification is uh, added automatically. Okay, so sorry, not added automatically because it's a disqualification we are creating. So it's a disqualification question. Okay, candidate type both. I'm keeping it both, and I'm not contextualization anything based on the filter. Response type is single choice, vertical, random. We can select. Allow attachments. Okay, we can also allow attachment. The candidate can upload any attachment, and rating model we cannot give. Response code. If yes, then score will be 1. If no, then -1. Okay, -1 means it will disqualify the question. Okay, no means it will disqualify. Click on active and then click on save and close.
Okay.
Okay, as you can see, question is now created and it is active.
Yes.
Okay, So this is the disqualification question. Now pre-screening question, sorry.
Okay.
So pre-screening questionnaire are used to ask the candidate about their career goal, job preferences, knowledge, and more. Okay. So as I told you earlier, also, if we are we need some additional information from the candidate. Okay, not for the disqualification, just for the reference. Okay. So I can ask whether is your relative already working in the organization. Okay, whether do you have a valid Aadhaar card. Okay, whether you have signed any contract with your previous employer, like this. So these are the additional questions information that I want from the candidate. So I don't want, like, after submitting the job application, after sending the offer letter, I can ask these questions. Okay, so it's better to ask these questions at the time when candidate can apply on the job requisition. Okay, so based on the answers, while going through the job applications, while recruiters are doing some screenings for the candidates, a recruiter can view this information, and based on their answers, recruiter can select whether this candidate is a best fit for this job requisition or not. Okay, so, like, see, it's an example given, like, how good are your Java skills. Okay, so pre-screening questionnaires are created and managed by the recruiting administrator. Same. Okay, recruiting administrator role is required to manage the questions in the question library. Okay, when creating a pre-screening questionnaire, the administrator can specify the classification of the question and can also contextualize the question based on recruiting organization job function. Okay, so when a recruiter creates a job requisition, questions available for selected dependent on the classification of the question and the context of the job requisition. Okay, so it means that we can contextualize the questions based on the location, job family, and job function. Okay, but it can only be done by a recruiting administrator. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So different types of pre-screening questions are available. Okay, so first one is the pre-screening questionnaire added automatically. Okay, so these questions are automatically added whenever we are creating a job requisition. Okay, based on the context of the job requisition, whether if a pre-screening question is configured for the US only, then automatically, if we are creating a job requisition for US, then it will add it automatically. So this is the meaning, like, pre-screening question added automatically. It means that whenever we are creating a job requisition, it will check, okay, whether the all the contextualization criteria is matching for this job requisition. Yes, then it will add the pre-screening questionnaire automatically to a job requisition. We don't have to do anything to add it or to attach it to the job requisition if it is configured like added automatically. Okay, and the recruiter cannot add or remove these questions from a job requisition. Okay,
Okay.
but
Okay.
if the recruiter changes the context of job recognition, okay, these pre-screening questionnaires may be adjusted. Okay, and if the context of a question is changed, job recognition without candidate applications will be adjusted to align with the automatically added questions. Okay, it means that if the job requisition do not have any job application and the contextualization of a job requisition is changed, like a location is changed or any other information is changed on the job requisition, then that pre-screening questionnaire will change automatically or may be removed from the job requisition, but it will happen only when there is no job application to a job requisition. Okay, and second
Okay.
one is pre-screening questionnaire added by the user. Okay, so in this, a recruiter can manually add these questions to a job requisition. Okay, but the questions must match here also. The criteria should match with the contextualization of job requisition should match with the pre-screening questions. Okay, but these questions can be added manually. Okay, so when we are creating a job requisition, if the recruiter do not have added any pre-screening questionnaires to a job requisition, then there will be no pre-screening questionnaire attached to a job requisition, because we have configured the pre-screening questionnaire in such a way that only it will be added when your recruiter will add it to manually. Okay, it will not add attached to a job requisition automatically. Okay, so So the pre-screening questions can be added, can be manually added to a job requisition templates by the recruiting administrator when a recruiter creates a job requisition based on a template. Okay, so pre-screening questionnaires of the job requisition template are added to the job, like same that we have discussed earlier also. Okay, so uh, this we have already discussed. So let's create a one pre-screening questionnaire now. Okay, go to application questions. It's loading, so just you have to wait. Till now, you have any doubts?
No, sir, it's clear on me.
Okay, okay, we will create. Click on create.
So whatever we are conferring here, that it will reflect only again portals only, right? Maybe Naukri or Mobile Stack.
Yeah, yeah. Not Naukri, not
Okay.
on Naukri. On our external career portal that we have configured on the first day. Okay, that we
Okay,
have
okay,
seen.
okay, okay, okay. External care portal only automatically there. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So same question code, subscriber recruiting owner folder. Okay, status and all. All these are same only. Question text we will type. Okay. Do you have any relative working for the organization already? Okay. Single choice. Yes, no. It will be added automatically. Single choice from list. Yes or no. Okay. So the only question is, or only difference is, here at the question classification. Now we have added pre-screening question. Okay. Earlier we have added disqualification question, and we will not give any scoring for this question.
Okay.
Yes, no. Okay, change the status to active. The requisition was saved. Okay, the question is now created here. So all this. Okay, so basically these are the guidelines that for scoring questions. Okay, consider the following guidelines. Okay, that these online guidelines should be considered while creating a questions on the questionnaires. Okay, so for pre-screening, okay, we can score questions in external and internal pre-screening questionnaires filled by the candidate when they apply for a job. Okay, this help ranks the job application based on pre-screening questions. Okay, so when you create a pre-screening questionnaire with single choice or multiple choice, okay, so scoring question will only be available on the multiple choice or a single choice selection type. Okay, it will not be available on the text. Okay, so because we for the selections we only can score the questions. Okay, on the text whatever the candidate is writing, system will not be able to identify what he is typing. Okay, so and set to score the answer of the question. Okay, the application automatically calculates the questionnaire overall score where such question is used. Okay, so it will automatically calculate the questionnaire overall score. Okay, based on each and every individual answer that candidate have given. When we change the score of a question, you can see the maximum possible score of all impacted questionnaires adjusted right away. Okay, so here is how it works. You can change question or added to questionnaires not being used. Okay, question changes are reflected right away in questionnaires with the exception of any overwritten score at the questionnaire level. Okay, it means that if we are changing any score level of any questions, then automatically system will change the configuration of score for the questionnaire. Okay, so suppose if we are removing any, suppose if a questionnaire is consist of 10 questions. Okay, and each question is having score 1010 like this. Okay, so but if I will remove those two questions out of 10, then automatically system will configure on the basis of now 8 questions. Earlier it was calculating the score on the basis of 10 questions, but now I have removed 2 questions from the questionnaire. Now system will calculate that score out of on the basis of 8 questions responses. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, so these are the uh, new versions that we want to that we have to create if we want to change the like if we are creating any, if we are changing any details on the questions. Okay, then we need to create a new version of the question. Okay, so these basically the when we are changing these details, on in that case we have to change the version of the question. So first of all, the answer labels and including translation. Second is context of the question. Third one is the question type and the question score. Okay, for the disqualification question, so when you create a disqualification question, you need to select the score question option, then define a negative score for the response that disqualifies candidate. Okay, so here as
But
an example is, yeah,
yeah, here previously we given for if yes means one, for no means minus one we given, right?
yes, exactly.
But here opposite is so yes means minus one.
Oh, might be a typo mistake.
Okay, 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 okay. Thank you.
Okay, it's configured like this only. Sorry. Okay, so here as you can say, let's say the disqualification as question is added to a questionnaire, and it's only the question in the questionnaire. Okay, so it's configured for this only. Like if a candidate, if the candidate answers yes, the candidate is automatically disqualified. Okay, so suppose this is why it will be disqualify. Suppose I am hiring some I have created a job requisition, and I have attached this question disqualification to a job requisition. Okay, and I am hiring some candidates for India. Okay, so I will ask if you are entitled already for to work in United States. If yes, then it will disqualify, because at the same time that employee cannot work on the both countries, right? So
Okay,
as per the legal norms, yeah, so it may be a US payroll, or it may be a India payroll, right? So that's why we have given yes, -1 on yes. Okay.
yeah, got it.
And last we can see, I can show you how to add the conditional question. Okay, so in the first question I have asked the candidate, do you have any relatives working for the organization already? Okay, so if they will select yes in this question, then automatically second question will pop up. Okay, asking please specify the name of the relative and the employee ID. Okay, but if they will answer no in this question, then uh, second question will not populate. Okay.
Okay, okay. So once he provided, then only it will populate second question. Okay.
Yeah, exactly, based on some answer values. Okay, so it will be text. Okay, display the question conditionally. So I'm just selecting the question here. We have to just pass the value, so that system will be able to identify which question we may have to make it dependent. Okay. question we have selected, and now we have to select the response. Okay, so system is asking on which response we have to populate this question. Okay, so this is the my first question that I have given the reference here. Okay, this one. Okay, so now system is asking for this question for which value we have to populate the second question. So I am giving, when I will answer yes on this first question, only then we will populate the second question. Else, if the candidate answers no, then no question will be populated. Okay, the question added automatically. And now we can see status active. Now save and close. Till now, any doubts?
No, sir, it's clear on me.
Okay. So as you can see, two questions are now created which are dependent on each other. Okay. Now candidate next section, next part is candidate interviews. Okay. So now we will see how candidate interviews are configured in the system and what are the good features of the candidate interviews. So so candidate interview basically is whenever we are whenever we have created a job requisition. Okay, so candidate will apply on a job requisition, we received a job application. Okay, so now first step is recruiter will do some screening, okay, based on the some requirements that they receive from the hiring manager. Okay, that first one is they will check, first screening will do by recruiters, whether it belongs to this organization or any other multiple type of checks they will check. Okay, so if the that candidate passed all the checks, then recruiter will shift to interview state. Okay, now this is the state where this part this configuration comes. Okay, so on which step we have to configure the interview phase, whether it's a mandatory or not. So all these things are configured in the candidate selection process. Okay, but if we have scheduled an interview, okay, so now recruiter, whether it's a recruiter or a hiring manager, okay, all of them should looks on the automation side. Okay, so whenever we send a candidate to a interview state, okay, then automatically one invitation based on candidate free slots should be sent, okay, to the candidate. And once a candidate is accepted, then then it will intimate to the recruiter that candidate have accepted your interview invitation, like this. Okay, so in this part we will see how much flexible this candidate interview is in ORC. Okay, and what are the pros and cons for the candidate interview functionality. Okay, so first one is to first basic step is to create a candidate interview schedule template. Okay, so we will we will come out of this section. done. Okay, let's see. Job requisitions, all task. Okay, just give me a second. I think role is not added. I'm just adding a role here.
Okay, okay.
The instance is very slow. It's taking time to load.
So here always we have to take only Aura, right?
Yes, Aura means a standard role, Oracle delivered role.
Can-
Okay, interview schedule templates. Okay, let's add one more template. Let's give the title, say, first round. Okay, so first of all, before creating it, I just wanted to tell you the benefit of this template. Okay, so suppose a recruiter or hiring manager is scheduling the interviews again and again for some candidates, multiple candidates in a single day. Okay, or even after a 2 days or 3 days. Okay, so but that is for the multiple candidates. Okay, so recruiter have to again and again give all the required details on the interview templates. Okay, so to get rid of that, we can create one template. Okay, so that when recruiter are scheduling the interviews, they can use these templates, and they don't want to again fill all the required details on the interview scheduling page. They just have they just want they just have to attach the template, and all the fields are populated based on the template values.
Okay.
So schedule type means hiring team managed it or candidate managed. Okay, it means that whether the hiring team will manage the interview slots and all, or the candidate will manage it. So see, candidate managed. Continue. Format is in person, phone, or web conference. So what will be the format of the interview? Okay, so we will see the we will select the web conference. Here you can provide the link and access code for each interview. Okay, so settings. So candidate can reschedule the interview. Candidate can cancel. Can reschedule on same day. Can see future interviews. We can limit the candidates. Okay, so like how many interviews they can see for the future. Okay, till 6 months we can do it. and we can limit on rescheduling it first time only, or we can till the at 10 times. Okay, we can day 4 times they can reschedule, or we will not allow candidates to make the last minute changes on the interview. Okay. 4 hours we can give, like before 4 hours. So if the 4 hours is left to start the interview, then they will not be able to reschedule or schedule or change the time of the interview. System will not allow it. Continue. Okay. So here we can pre-schedule details. Okay, and the post-schedule details. So here we can type each and every details. Okay, whether which is required by the candidate. So these are all the instructions that need to be given to the candidates, to the interview location, instructions on how, like whether we are using some platform. Okay, so we can provide like this is the platform, this is to these are the instructions to install and use this platform and to join the web conference.